they all came in pretty good shape, considering the lengthy, what turned out to be a very lengthy off season, obviously. And
Y'all forbidden to say lockout?
I'm sorry.
Are y'all forbidden to say lockout?
Oh, I think we can say that. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, it was a long time either way. They seem focused and energetic, and everybody's glad to be back playing basketball.
I know it's so early, but just looking at your roster on paper, what stands out as a big difference from last year?
I think we're going to be a better shooting team. We're going to be a better passing team. And I think with, be able to attack teams offensively in more ways than we were able to last year.
At this point, salary-wise, do you have to add anybody else to get to the minimum, or are you good with the rookie signings and everything?
No, we're still about $1 million and change away from the minimum salary.
I'll take that million.
Well, if you can set a good pick and get a rebound, we might take you up on that.
Jeff, are you pretty happy with the general shape of the guys who have come into camp this year?
Yeah, we are. In general, there's a couple guys that need to lose probably a little bit of weight and whatnot. But overall, DeMarcus is 10 pounds lighter than he was at the beginning of training camp a year ago. I think, again, considering how much time off, I think he obviously was working. Tyreek is in better shape than he was at the start of camp last year. Marcus is basically within a few pounds of his game weight. John is in terrific shape. For that, all the rookies are fine. And so I think, again, considering the amount of time, we're, at least as of today, we're in pretty good shape that way.
How's this team rank in terms of overall athletic ability compared to teams since you've been here? Big size and athleticism.
Well, I think we've got some guys that are long. Do we have guys that can, a lot of guys that can jump over the top of the backboard? I don't know that we have that, but I think we have a lot of good components for. It still comes down to skill and understanding and playing together and chemistry and complementary talent. It's not just about any one thing.
In terms of Dallenberg, do you still see him as somebody you could still talk to at this point, or are you
I've had some conversations with Mark. When you renounce somebody, basically you lose their bird rights, but that doesn't preclude you from re-signing them. And so right now we're really, and we've got some things that, some proposal that we've made that we're sitting on. We're also going to sit here and look at the amnesty situation, and then just what happens normally in free agency is, what make either, and with the room we still have, there's tremendous flexibility for trades, with players and salaries and whatnot. Where we're going to go with that, I really can't tell you though. I really don't know, so I can't tell you.
Speaking of the amnesty, a large group of the teams haven't really started dropping those players yet. When do you expect the bulk of that to happen?
Well, I'm not sure. There's a lot of speculation about players that were going to be amnestied. I'm not sure that it's going to be initially to the extent that people outside of the teams thought they were going to do it. But there's been a few so far, and there'll probably be a few more. In some of those cases, they may not amnesty until they know they need to use the money for something else, especially if it's a player that is still productive and capable of playing.
What was your reaction to what went on with the Chris Paul and Commissioner Stern stepping in?
I just think that when you're managing a team, regardless, and as you're trying to decide what's the best thing going forward for your franchise and your team when you, make trades or make decisions about the future direction of your team. And they made a decision at that time anyway they thought was in the best interest of the franchise.
Someone who has to put together a roster for franchise
Mm.
yourself. I mean, how would you react to a scenario that way?
Well, it's hard because I don't know what the other options were, what had been discussed, what might still be hanging out there in the future, or things they might want to revisit. You just don't have all the information, so it's hard to make a judgment.
As a guy running a team, do you specifically know, or do others in the league know what the role and the control of the league has with the Hornets? As you know, like you made a deal with the Hornets last year.
Mhm.
You didn't hear nothing from David Stern, did you?
No, we don't.
He didn't
We-
call you and say it was a good deal or a bad deal.
No, he didn't do that. No, we dealt with Dell Demps the entire time, and we talked to Dell along with other general managers all the time. We don't call the league to talk about what the Hornets will do or
So
won't
it's a
do.
surprise that
So-
that Stern stepped in and played the role that he
Well,
played.
they still own the team. They're just like any owner. I mean, they
Well, they're not like any owner. They're the
well, I
commissioner of
mean,
the
but they
league.
have an ownership position. Okay,
So
I'm a lot more worried about the Sacramento
yeah,
Kings,
yeah,
to be
I
honest with you.
understand. But before a guy who has made a deal with the Hornets, and
Yeah, but I'm just saying, we dealt with Dell Demps. I mean, exclusively.
Jeff, coming into the season with 4 new rotational players and 3 new coaches, is there a
I'm
little
sorry?
coming into the league with 4 new rotational players and 3 new coaches, is there a concern with so much change with such a shortened lockout, shortened training camp?
Well, I think everybody's concerned about the shortened time period just because the amount of practice time and the preparation that you have to go into the regular season. But as far as the staff is concerned, Jim has obviously been here. Keith has got a lot of experience and a terrific pedigree in basketball. And I mean, I think, and Bobby has obviously been here and knows our roster and our players. So I think to this point it's been a pretty smooth transition.
how long did you know that, or have a feeling that Coach Carrill wasn't coming back?
Since the end of last year, pretty much. And he's still hopeful he'll still certainly be an advisor and somebody that I'll talk to on a regular basis. And I think we'll see him out here at some homestands and things like that. But he's doing well and back in Princeton. And
Health is good.
his health is overall is good.
Was it a sense of relief when you re-signed Marcus? And if you could also comment on Chuck Hayes' addition as well.
Yeah, we were really excited to get Marcus re-signed and hopefully watch him build on the part of the season that he was here last year, and he came in excellent shape. And then with Chuck, I mean, he's a real unique player, but a real valuable player, and gives us another passer out there on the floor, a terrific defender, and a very real person.
Obviously, you liked him since you traded for him, but was his production somewhat surprising to you? Did he?
Who's that?
Marcus Thornton.
Well, you never know for sure, but I mean, if you go back to his rookie year when they had injuries there and Chris Paul was out and they started Collison and Marcus Thornton together for quite a few stretches of games, he had some huge games as a rookie. And when we talked to Jeff Bowers, who happened to be the coach that year, last year during the season when we were trying to make that trade, I mean, he had a lot of terrific things to say about Marcus. So, I mean, we felt we were getting a good player. Now, he's got a chance to get a lot better. But even if he just plays at the level that he played here last year, he's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Does Tyreek look a lot healthier to you this year?
Yeah, he does.
Does he?
Hmm.
Where do you notice the difference mostly? Just his
I'm sorry.
planty? Where do you notice the most difference?
Well, he's just moving better. He's playing free. He's in better shape. And,
What's the difference in weight when he reported this year from last year?
Oh, he's probably 12, 13 pounds less.
Is it pretty close to where you want him, maybe a few more pounds? Or?
Oh, you know, I think he'll still lose a few more as we get playing. All these guys will. I mean, but overall, I'm really again considering the length of time that they had off and pretty much living with their own devices.
Had vices.
You said that. I didn't.
Yes.
They're overall they're in pretty good shape.
Geoff, your staff take any other special precautions with Tariq's foot because of the history of foot injuries?
Well, he has
wear a brace?
orthotics. He
Right.
wears ankle braces. Check his shoes a lot. He's got to. But his style of play is pretty physical and pretty powerful, and so I think he's the precautions that can be taken are being taken. So.
With everything that's gone on in the offseason about the team maybe moving and the lockout, everything that's going on, how happy are you personally to get this thing going and looking forward to the game after Christmas?
Well, we're all glad to be back working, and we're all, again, excited about a new group of players, and obviously you have expectations about that they'll be better and more fun to watch, and there's still some uncertainty out there as far as the team is concerned, but I think the excitement of playing basketball right now overrides a lot of that.
Does the shortened time period with the training camp into the season alter your decision on if you make a trade or how much you alter the roster between now and then?
I don't think so. I think we're open to looking at anything that would help us. Hopefully, I mean, we would look at things that would help us not just now but going forward into the future.
If you look at your roster now, what are the areas that you would hope to address more specifically in any kind of moves you're making in the near future?
We might want to, keep our eyes open for a little more experienced backup point guard, just in the event that, while Jimmer and I think Isaiah will play some, but Tyreek is your primary point. That position, we could possibly look there, and then. Maybe another big of some kind, but that's probably about it. Unless, obviously, if you can get a better player that's better than any player that you have at any position, then you would do that too.
Geoff, why the decision to open training camp on Saturday as opposed to Friday like most other teams?
Just because of all the signings that we had to get done, or ended up having to get done on Friday, and the timing of all that, and just having the meeting Friday evening and starting fresh on Saturday.
Jeff, you
I
talked.
mean, we could have come out here with 8 guys probably on Friday. And what that would have accomplished, really.
Jeff, you talked about being $1 million under the minimum. Is there a chance that you'll go exceed that and go up higher into the salary cap?
I think so. I can't tell you to what extent, but I think so.